Hi everyone, we are the Group 4 and today we will going to discuss about the global interstate system.
For our introduction, let's first understand what the global interstate system means. So, it is basically a network of independent countries, also called nation states, that interact and work with each other. So, these countries connect through trade, diplomacy, or good relationships. International organizations like the United Nations and the global laws that guide how countries should behave. The global interstate system shows how globalization has connected the whole world, not just socially or culturally, but also politically and economically. In simple words, it's how countries all over the world communicate, cooperate, and depend on each other to make progress and maintain peace.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Eliza Reyes Maloblin. I'm the second reporter of Group 4. So, I will report what is all about the nation state. So, what is a nation state? A state is a political organization with government and territory. A nation is a group of people with shared culture and identity. When these two combine, we get a nation state. So, a nation state is a type of political organization where a nation or a group of people with common culture, languages, and history has its own government and territory. So, in simple terms, it means the country where most people share the same identity and rule by one government, especially the three countries in Japan, Iceland, and France. So second, next, the global interstate system explained. So, it's the system of relationship among the nation states. Each state is sovereign, independent, but they still cooperate. They follow international laws and agreements to maintain peace and trade. So, in short, the global interstate system is how countries connect and cooperate while staying independent. Next, key features of the interstate system. First, sovereignty. Every state governs itself. So sovereignty, kana bitang example of that is like mag-elect tag governor or ato ang leaders. Next, second is diplomacy. Diplomacy. States communicate and form alliances. So diplomacy is the art of maintaining peaceful international relations through communication, negotiation, and dialogue rather than kanang nagkanasinati nga kanang mga conflict or violence. So the third one is interdependence. Interdependence, nations rely on each other for goods and support. So interdependence is simply how living and non-living things depend on one another. So for me, one of the example of interdependence is kanang like mag-order ta sa Shopee, di ba? Di ba naaman na between the Philippines and China. Yang ato ang mga order na kay mostly sa kuan gyud China, made of China gyud. So the last one is global governance. Global governance. Organizations like the UN help manage world issues. So global governance, the United Nations help countries to solve global problems such as poverty, climate change, peacekeeping in conflict areas. That would be all. Thank you.
to globalization and nation states. Globalization means the world is connected, and even though the countries are still important, they need to adapt and work with others. For example, the Philippine trade with Japan joins the group like ASEAN and follow the rules from the UN, showing it's a part of interstate system.
Since Emmeline already tackled the definition of interstate, let's move on to the example of interstate, which is interstate organization. So if we say organization, these groups show cooperation between states, such as United Nations, World Trade Organizations, associations of Southeast Asian nations or the ASEAN, and European Union. The United Nations is an international organization founded in 1945, committed to maintaining international peace, security, and promotes human rights. We have World Trade Organization. It is also an international organization, and the main goal is to make sure that trade flows smoothly, fairly, and freely across nations. And the third one, we have ASEAN. It is a regional organization that promotes peace, stability, and cooperation among Southeast Asian. One of its members is the Philippines. Thus, we have European Union. It is European countries that work together to promote economic growth, peace, and unity by sharing laws, currency, like the euro and policies. To have a better understanding, let's dive in on how the interstate system works. States create agreements, alliances, and treaties. And also they discuss global issues like climate change, peace and security, trade and economy. So this action maintain order and cooperation globally. In short, the interstate system work by allowing countries to stay independent but still connected and cooperative with one another. So let's proceed to the challenges in the interstate system. So first challenges here is the conflict between countries. There is a misunderstanding or arguments between countries. Next, we have unequal power. So it shows inequality in a just society where fairness and equity are ignored. For example, strong versus weak nations. Last, we have global issues like war, poverty, and climate change. War is the result of conflict between countries. And then the poverty is a result of unequal power. And then the climate change is the result of irresponsible action of human. Despite all of this, cooperation continues through diplomacy and dialogue. So when we say diplomacy and dialogue, it means instead of having war, they have agreements and peace talk.
So I'm going to talk about the International Regional Organization, Intergovernmental Organization, or the IGOS, and in its example like ASEAN, EU, WTO, UN, ICC, OPEC, and NATO. So, international and regional organization, it focuses on how organizations facilitate cooperate with other nations. So, the Intergovernmental Organization is a organization na nag-help na masolve ang problema sa usa ka country. And this is her example of IGOs and their focuses. First is Asians, or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So ang Asia, regional cooperation na nag-promote sa mga political, economic, and security cooperation among its 10 members countries in Southeast Asia, which is Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Darussalam, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. The main goal in Asia is to accelerate economic growth and social progress social progress across the region, to promote regional peace and sustainability through cooperation and non-interference in each other's affairs, and lastly is unity, to bring the diverse nations of Southeast Asia together in a friendship and cooperation to make the region more prosperous, secure, and unified. Then the next example is EU, which is European unity. In short, the European unity is far more than just a simple trade agreement. It is a shared law, common policies, and mutual cooperation that govern a vast area of the European continent. It also operates a single market, a common trade policy, and cooperate on security, justice, and migration. And another example is the WTO, which is World Trade Organization. Mao na ang nag-regulate ug nag-facilitate sa international trade to ensure trade flows smoothly as possible by administering trade agreements like setting the rules, negotiations, and signed trade agreements, then policing the rules, monitoring to oversees and administers these trade agreements to ensure that all 164 members countries, which presents over 98% of the world trade, stick to their commitment and settling disputes when a country believes another country has violated the agreement upon trade rules. Example, unfairly subsidize a domestic product. The WTO acts as a court para ma-resolve ang conflict. Its rulings are powered and designed to maintain a predictable trading system. And more prominent example of the ideas or the intergovernmental organization is UN, United Nations, ICC for International Criminal Court, OPEC is for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, then NATO for North Atlantic Trade Organization. In short, ang intergovernmental organization nag-allow na siya sa countries to work together on political and economic and social issue para mulambo siya sa usa ka countries. So, hello again. So now I'm gonna talk about the Asian response to globalization. The globalization is the increasing interconnectedness of the world through the flow of information, goods, services, capital, and people across nations' border. The table shows at the top that where there's a level and examples there. Asia's response isn't a single action, but a variety of strategies applied at different levels of cooperation. So the first is the regional level. This involves cooperation among several countries within the Asia region. Example is the Asia or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, the ADB or the Asian Development Bank, and broader Asia-Pacific operations. This organization and initiative nag-aim na ma-foster ang economic integration, political stability, and mutual development, giving the region a collective voice, market influence the global stage. And the second is the bilateral level. This involves agreements or partnership between two specific countries. Example, kaya kanang Philippines, China, or Philippines, Japan agreement, referring the Philippines with China or Japan. So this agreement focus on specific issue like trade, investment, and infrastructure development or security, allowing the two nations to tailor their response due to global based on their unique relationship. Bali, like ka ng pareha ng country na Japan diri sa Philippines kay mag-trade-trade sila ka ng mga goods kung Example ana ang kanang China naglilak sila banana nya ang Philippines kay daghan man so like magkuan sila import na ba. Then the third one is the local level. These are response that focus in domestic, often grassroots initiative within single country. Example is the self-sufficient program. Another example is Thailand's Baya currency. These are counter-movement or complementary strategies designed to protect local economies and communities from the potential negative impact of globalization, such as reliance on international market or loss of local culture practice. Thailand's be a form of local currency is an example of initiative to keep capital currency within a specific community. Kung ano siya, example ano is kanang mas kanang gingganyo gali ang mga tao na mas mupalita sa ato ang own kanang mga goods like gikuan sila na mas dili na magkanang kuan balit na sa lain mga lugar ba something like that. Then the last is the security level or this level address the security challenges that often accompany globalization such as transnational crime and terrorism. Example is the joint patrol versus terrorism. As the borders become more often to trade and travel, they also become more vulnerable to shared threats. These multilateral security arrangements like joint sea or air patrols are cooperate effort to secure shared borders and protect regional stability from common threats. Example lana, like ang Japan kay makipag-trade sila sa Philippines, while ang kanang mga goods nila kay nasakay ra sa ship or barko, then out of nowhere na ang kanang mga gipantawag na pirates or kanang huwat kanang rubber ships, kanang mga rubbers dyan na kanang nasa sa ship at the sea. Nya kanang pwede kung nakakuha na ang kanang ship sa Japan sa Philippines for example kanang Philippine Sea na kay pwede na sila like mutawag sa kanang mga organization na kasi na nagkuhan sa kanang mga kuhan sa mga threats kali pwede ba sa mga sandalo na kanang pwede sila mga og tabang na para mahinder ang kanang kuhan na dili na apika na madami siya mga goods something like that. And then that's it.
Let's proceed to the summary of the globalization and interstate. So first bullet states here, globalization doesn't erase nation states, it reshapes them. Simple. This means that countries or nation states will exist and remain important, but globalization changes how they function. Like instead of losing power completely, they must adapt to global economic, political, and technological forces. For example, a country must now consider global trade rules, international laws, and digital communication that affect how it governs. Kay mao naman ni ang ginabuhat sa tanan. Kay ug magbutbut ka, your country might be in a great danger. And second bullet, they share power with regional and global institutions. Nation states today do not act alone. They share decisions, making power with international organizations. Example na katong kwan, katong ASEAN, katong in Southeast Asia, katong European Union, kana ganing na sila naay kanang naay ano say ba? Naay like representative sa ilahang country nga mo adto gani dito sa kanang murag meeting katong gidiscuss sa ato nya kanang siya bali ang mo voice out sa unsay mga mga problems sa atong country. Nya in that way makuan ni siya kanang masolve gani og dali para naay na tinabangay ba kay kuan man ni kanang nation states they do not act alone. So na jud siya help from other countries. Example of global institutions kay katong UN, United Nations, World Trade Organization, World Bank. These institutions help countries cooperate, solve global problems, and make common rules on trade, peace, and human rights. So the third bullet states here that the global interstate system is about how these states interact, integrate, and cooperate. The global interstate system refers to the network of relationships among countries, how they communicate, trade, and work together. Mag-interact sila through diplomacy, negotiations, and alliance. Integrate by joining organizations or agreements like UN or free trade zones. Katong United Nation ba katong ito giingon ganina nga kanang mo voice out na a representative mo voice out for our country and cooperate to handle global issues like climate change, pandemics, or terrorism. Usa sa dani katong pag pandemic na may lain countries nga help sa Philippines, di ba? Katong ni kuan sila kanang vaccine, mga face mask, di ba? So naa sila kuan interconnectedness kay naa sila help from other countries. Globalization doesn't destroy countries. It connects and transforms them, making them part of a larger global system where power, cooperation, and responsibility are shared among states and international institutions. That would be all.
Okay, so let's proceed to Asian regionalism. Okay, so what is regionalism? So, regionalism is about countries that are close to each other working together, especially in politics and economy. So, they cooperate to help each other grow and solve common problems. And then, we have regionalization, which is the process of building that cooperation. It's how countries actually start to connect, trade, and make agreements with one another. In Asia, we build regionalism to promote peace, improve trade, and strengthen our identity as Asian nations. In short, regionalism helps Asian countries unite and move forward together instead of competing against each other.
The core of Asian regionalism. ASEAN, May 1967, is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It is a group of countries in Southeast Asia that is work together. It started in 1967. So it has helped to create peace, safety, and economic growth in the region. It includes countries like the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Their goal is one vision, one identity, and one community. It means that they want to work together, feel like they belong to the same group, and build as strong as community. The ASEAN plus three more countries. It's ASEAN plus three more countries like Japan, China, and South Korea. It helps these countries have stronger money and political connection. It helped fix the money problems in Asia back in 1997. Here's the factors strengthening Asian integration. So first, the market-driven trade and investment. So Asian countries trade and invest with each other to make their economies grow and become more connected. And second factor is the Japan's JECA aid program. Japan gives aids to other Asian countries through JECA. This aid builds things like roads and improves skills, helping these countries join the Asian economy. Third is the Asian Development Bank or ADB project. ADB funds projects in Asia. These projects connect countries and help them develop together. Sunod is the regional production networks. Different parts of a product are made in different Asian countries. This creates a supply chain across borders, linking economy. We have the financial cooperation or Chong Mai initiatives. Countries help each other with money problems. This keeps the regions financially stable and cooperative. And last, the consensus and mutual respect. Countries agree and respect with each other. This helps them work together commonly, smoothly, and united.
So now I'm gonna talk about the globalization versus regionalization and its concept, meaning, and scope. So globalization, meaning is integration of the whole world. Scope is worldwide. Globalization is the process by which the world becomes interconnected due to massive and cross-border flow of goods, service, capital, people, information, ideas that aim to single create global economy and society. So mao na ning kon globalization is kanang widely kung kita makipag-trade kita sa mga layo na country like mga open yun atong kuan na ba maka-import ta. Then yeah, that's it. Then next is the regionalization, means integration within a region, Asia or others. Regionalization is the concentration of economic activities, trade, and cooperation within a specific geographical area or region. Kanang nara sa usa ka continent parehaning Asia. Dire ka makipag-trade, kanang mag-export or import sa mga neighboring country ra nimo. Papanay, Japan, Korea, China, mga ana. Dayon, ang it's natural or market-driven process where economic interaction intensify among neighboring countries, sometimes leading to the formation of regional economic blocks, kanang a group of countries kanang in a geographic area. Example gyapon there is a kanang Asia na nag-form og kanang alliance to promote trade by eliminating barriers like tough tariffs or kanang tax and quotas. Kanang gamay na lang ang kanang bayaran sa tax basta. Then next is the regionalism, means organized cooperation among regional states, scope political and economic. Regionalism is the formalized political project by governments to create and sustain regional cooperation and organize. It involves deliberate, often intergovernmental efforts to manage, promote, and cooperation, which typically has both political and economic dimension. Example: security, trade, shared policy. It's the intentional manifestation of regionalism. Kanang dili lang mo lambo, kanang both ang kanang political o kanang mga economics, mga tao kanang mo lambo gyud ba. Can get ani sa globalization versus regionalization. Globalization, nag-connect ni siya sa country as a global scale, like every country good ang maka-connect gid pa. Whereas regionalization focuses only on strengthening cooperation and organization within a specific limited geographical area. So, in conclusion of Asia regionalism, Asia embraced globalization while maintaining its regional identity. As Asia tragically participates in global economy and culture, but preserves its distinct values, traditional and political norms through strong regional cooperation sa kanang mga tao. Then, Asian and other groups prove that unity brings peace and progress. Lastly, in the modern era, Asia regionalism strengthening through cooperation of one another country para malambot ang usa ka country, and that's all. Thank you.